Jake here for ExtremeTerrain, and these are the Barricade HD Rocker Steps in textured black, fitting 2021 and newer two-door Broncos. Now these steps are about the perfect middle ground as they offer two-door Bronco owners similar protection to rock rails with the capability of side steps. They've got a unique style while giving you some accessibility and protection, and they do it all for a pretty good price. Balance is important in many aspects of life, and side steps can be included in that. And I think these strike that sort of Goldilocks type of balance between side steps and rock rails. They have a nice wide step for accessing the cab, but the difference between these and other steps is that they don't drop down as far as, say, Nerf bars or some regular other side steps. But you still get a nice wide platform on which to put your feet, and you've got some holes to drain off water and debris. So this is going to give you great access to the cabin of your rig, and if you're not all that tall like I am, a little help getting into the truck is not a bad thing, especially if you've gone ahead and lifted it. But since these don't drop down, they're going to keep your ground clearance intact, and they tuck up really close to the rocker panels, so they're going to provide you with some serious protection out on the trail. Plus they look cool to boot with the wide stance and this textured black finish. They bring a more aggressive look to the Bronco too, so they really tick a bunch of different boxes here. And again, because they stick out a little bit further than a traditional side step, they're going to provide you with some extra protection out in the throes of the shopping mall parking lot too. So if an errant car door or shopping cart runs into you, it's going to hit this most likely before it'll contact the body of the truck. So overall, you're getting a lot of protection and accessibility here, making these a great setup for any two-door Bronco owner. As far as construction goes, the steps are made from steel plates and round mild steel, and they're fabricated as one piece. So this is all one. This is exactly how it came out of the box. A single welded piece makes for a really strong setup, and the steel here again is finished off with that textured black powder coat to help protect against rust and corrosion. This is also a totally bolt-on setup, so you don't need to make any modifications to your Bronco either, and all of the bracketry is included, and it's finished in that same powder coat as well, so everything matches really nicely. Pricing for this set comes in at about $400, and that puts them sort of in the middle of the category. Now these aren't going to be too expensive, but they also don't have some of the fancier features like a power retractable step might. But they do get you all the access and protection you need without breaking the bank or blowing out your entire budget. Another win here is installation, as we're going to give these a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and you should figure on it taking you about 2 hours to complete the job. Now, like I mentioned a moment ago, these are a totally bolt-on setup, meaning that you don't need to make any permanent modifications to your Bronco in order to get them fitted. And to show you that process now, we're going to hand the torch over to one of our XT customers.
Today we'll be putting on the running boards for a new 2023 Ford Bronco, the full size. And for the first thing we need is a creeper to help get under the car. And then we have a 3/8 drive with the 13mm and the 16mm. That's all you'll need for the bolts. And then a knife to help open the package up. But other than that, pretty basic, nothing else. Okay, for putting on the running boards, there's nothing really to prep or take off before it because you're not replacing a part, you're just putting on a new part. So basic, yeah, there's nothing to do under there for the removal. Just get ready to put it on. Just to be careful, you gotta make sure you put the parking brake on, and then chalk the back tires just in case, because I'll be working on it with my legs under the car, and if it rolls, that wouldn't be too good. So just make sure you have safety first. So you want to start off by looking at the brackets and seeing what it says right here. It says driver rear, so it'd be driver's side on the rear back wheel, and then the other bracket is DF, so driver front. Go a little bit below that, right in front of that tire right there. And then for the bolts to get them strapped on, the pattern would be this 16mm bolts, and then you put the lock washer on the bottom of the bolt like that. And you put the big washer on the bottom, and just like that, you got that ready to go. And that's what will go through these holes to get the bracket attached to the bottom of the car. And so if you want to come down here and look at the holes. So this is the driver front right here. The 2 holes are right here and here. And how would that go is you want the flat end to be on this side of the holes. So just right there, and then you'll screw it in, of course, and lock it in right there. Then if you want to go back there, the rear The rear. Okay, so then let's start these. You want to take your bolt that's already finished like that. Start in the back hole. Get it going a little bit, just by hand. Shouldn't be too hard to get it on there. Just get it until it grabs. Yep, so looks just like that, but you gotta tighten it up. I'm gonna get the other bolt going first before I tighten it up too much. Then get your next bolt. Do the same thing. Screw it in by hand until you can't anymore. You'll take your ratchet for the next part. And yep, once it's hand tight, go to the ratchet, and like I said, 16mm ratchet for these. And you don't want to tighten this one all the way up super hard until you get the other side tightened up a little bit so it's even. And you want to make sure these are really tight, as these will be what is holding the running boards to the actual bottom of the car. Make sure they're pretty tight. That should be good. Yep, so that's that was a driver front bracket. Now we need to move on to the driver rear bracket. And it goes right here where the two holes go. One is on the bottom side, and the other is just off this ridge right here on the top. Goes over. Just match them up. You can put on the bottom one first, just tighten it by hand, like the other, until it grabs and you can't anymore. And once it does that, just move on to the other, and then go by hand and get your final bolt set up. That, and then go over the top there where that hole is. Just as much so go hand tighten. So grab the 16mm ratchet like the front side, and this one tight. That should do it for the two brackets on this side. So now we're putting on the running boards. You want to look and see what letter will be right here, either L for left or R for right. Left side is for the driver's side. So you'll turn it around, and you just want to line up these holes on the bottom right there and there, the bottom brackets. And then with how the brackets are made, you have a little bit of room to move them about however you like. You can kind of put them closer to the car if you want, closer in, or you can bring them out a little bit. Bring them out a little bit more. It just matters what you want. For us, since we have the bigger tires and bigger rig in general, we're gonna be bringing it out for more surface area, but it's really just preference. And make sure it's lined up perfectly before you start putting the screws or bolts in. There's some just holes that you gotta match up in there. And just make sure it looks pretty straight and even. But like I said, there's a little bit of room to move it around however you like. Okay, so then for the brackets, you're gonna take this longer flat piece, and that's gonna go in through this hole right here. and you're gonna take, you want this end that already has a screw in it. You want to put that end on the side that's closer to the actual car. And you just thread it through the hole down there, line it up, and then to get this bolt on, which it's a 13 milliliter with a locking nut, or locking
Lock washer.
Lock washer, yeah. And you just go under. This should already be made when you pull it out of the parts bag, so good with that. But yeah, basically you just get under here, and there should be, you already have this end sticking out, and then there's a little hole right here if you did line it up. Good. Make sure you push down on the top of it too, so it gets flat and flush with the screw. It's important, don't want it sliding off. Then you'll take, to secure the, bolt that's already built into the metal piece. You'll need to take one of these smaller washers, one of these locking nuts, and you'll want to put on the washer first, just like that. And take the nut and just screw it on as tight as you can by hand, and then we'll grab the ratchet in a second. Yeah, so then you don't need a nut for this one because it's already, the bracket is already threaded in for it. So, or at the top, it's already has a thread for it. So you won't need that. Just on the bottom side is what you need to take care of. So once that all said and done, you'll grab your 13 milliliter ratchet and just tighten up both sides. Try and do it evenly. And then, so once you get these hand tight and everything on, you can move your way to the other side and get those hand tight. So in case you want to move the running board around a little bit more before you actually tighten it up, you can do that. Then, yep, it's same on this side. You throw this metal plate in through the top, and you want this end. You want this end to be facing the inside of the car, or towards the inside of the car. Then just line up the holes to the bottom, and put in the other smaller nut that is already made. You want to push down on the metal plate with your right hand and screw in the bolt with your left hand. Just hand tight. Then, yep, you need this. So then you take washer first, just right over that built-in bolt, then hand tight the locking nuts. And, yep, it doesn't go very far hand tighten, but that's fine. Now that you have everything on, you can situate it to however you like. I already have it where I want it. Then, like I was saying, what you don't want to tighten them all the way is that you can come out and give it a final look to see if you want to push in a little bit more, like so. Then push in this side too. Now it's a lot closer to the car if you like that look. But like I said, if we want it farther out, because the bigger tires, more surface area, so pull it out as much as you can right there, over there on that side so it's even, and right there you're good to go. Just hand tighten it, or tighten it all the way up with the 13 millimeter ratchet. So then take your 13 millimeter ratchet and start on the back side with the locking nut. But there we go. Once you start to feel it get tight, move on to the next one. And once you feel that one getting tight, you can go all the way with this one. Really want to attach that one so it doesn't slide. And go to the back and finish off tightening that one up. Yeah, that should work for that side right there. Okay, and then now you want to start on the driver rear. Same thing, you already have them in, so just tighten them up. And all the ones on the bottom are 13 millimeters, so that is the only thing you'll need on this bottom side. And once that's tight, you get the locking nut. It's important to get these really tight so that it does not slide around. You want to really cinch them up. And yeah. Once you got them all tight on the bottom, that should be good. That is the running boards for the driver's side. There we go.
That's going to wrap it up here for our review and install of the Barricade HD Rocker Steps in Texture Black, fitting 2021 and newer two-door Broncos. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, for all things Bronco, be sure to keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.